Hey, good morning, everybody. Sarasota Tim. 4:33. I love it. I did go to bed pretty early, so don't freak out. But then again, I don't sleep past 4:30 in the morning ever. Let's make some coffee. I tell you, I've said it before. I wake up. I got these good jacks in the bottom of this thing that are, get rid of this old coffee here. It really got my floor solid. Put you over here. And then I started thinking about where I'm at. I'm in, I don't want to say the woods, but it's a woody area on the lake at Lake Lanier. A lot of the campers aren't here because they got prison jobs. There's a few. Geezers. Guy over here with a Class A with his wife. I drove by yesterday and they're both just sitting outside of their Class A in a chair. I think he had a book, she had a book. They were sitting there, just outside their A, reading a book on the lake here. I come in. They got, it's a campground. They got the road. I've shown you. It goes one way. It goes up, comes around, and you got, the numbers of each site. And you see your number, and you back in like, I own this. This is my property. It's my site. You got some, breathing room here. There's not people like right on top of you, like at your RV park where you live. They provide you this extra camping space that you don't have where I live with a grill and a picnic table. And I'm telling you, I need to get Bob and Kathy. I use all the coffee. Now I'm on Rick and Connie's. Thank you, Rick and Connie. I keep wanting to get that Vivor canopy. And talking about Vivor, sorry, I just going through my ablutions this morning. I already had a sneezing attack. Come on in here. Vivor.com is a secret that I almost hate to get out, but I'm going to give it to you. Vivor.com, you ain't going to believe the stuff they got. They're the ones selling the canopy that's just like the clam. It's a Chinese company, I guess. I saw a guy last night on my Gold Wing channels that got an impact wrench to change a tire on his trailer he pulls behind his Gold Wing. Any wheel, off a camper, off your truck, you get a flat, impact wrench, right? He put it on the very lowest setting. It comes in a beautiful case, all these attachments of sockets, 2 batteries, a charger. It's orange. He already owns several DeWalt's, which is the best. And he put it on the lowest. I figured, it's probably not going to break it, or it's going to, come right off. So, and this pop-up tent they have, canopy that I want, goes up in 60 seconds. They've given, seems like, I don't think they've sold any. I think they keep giving them away to YouTubers. The YouTube is full of people promoting them that got them for free. I reached out to them with an email and said, I'd like to join your affiliate program, your influencer program. Send one of them impact wrenches to me. Because I discovered Not only do I want that canopy so bad I can taste it, and they have a 6-foot, a 10-foot, 10 by 10. It's an octagon shape, 6-sided. They have a 12 and a half foot, 11 and a half foot. I don't know why they have all these different. Definitely don't want the 7 or 6 foot, or 7 foot, I think it is. Definitely don't want the 10 foot, I don't think. I need the 12 foot, even though it's just me, because I saw a video where a guy has that propane fire pit like I have, and he put that in there. I mean, you can't have a wood fire with the sparks and all, but one of those propane, and it comes with the curtains. You got to pay extra for the clam to get that. You'll spend $400 on a clam. So I want that impact gun. It's good to have. I have a T-bar. I can change a tire if I have to. But I want that canopy. I want to set it up at home. I can park the bike in it. I can sit in it. I can put 3 of the walls up and give myself a blind from my neighbors. I can eat out there. In the evening, in the wintertime, it's coming up down there. I can have that fire in there and do fireside chat inside of it. I'm getting it. Under $200 for a giant 12-foot diameter. The only thing is I can't nail it down on my slab, and I mean, other people have. They've done whatever you do to put something down in the concrete. My neighbor, who's been coming there 20 years, he puts up a big to-do. He'll be back by the time I get home or the next month from Michigan, Ohio, wherever they come from. He's got that thing somehow down in the concrete. It doesn't go anywhere. It's sitting there now. He just took all the skin off of it, but the frame is sitting there. And they put up, I mean, they got a swing, they got a fire pit, and they host a lot. I want to host. I live there. So I got to get it. I got to get it. I'm going to leave this coffee and creamer right there because I'm going to make more. Oh, hurry up. I'm just making 1 bottle of coffee because I want it to hurry up so I can drink it. She's a good girl. So that canopy that gives you an additional living space, another room. That's why an awning is nice, and you put it out and you're underneath it and you feel like it's cool. And then when you roll it in, you're like, oh, I'm exposed. You know, there's something about it. But when you go in that, and Stan and Michelle have one. This is what got me off on it. When they came here and met me, these 2 subscribers, and they had one set up, and they had the coolest trailer too. I used to not think much about these travel trailers that have a pop-out, like a pop-up tent thing to them. It's canvas. It's not like a bedroom on the inside. But I got a whole new respect. They got a very cool camper. 3 queen beds. And their camper is shorter than mine. One pops out the back, one pops out the front, and one pops out the side. And they have a little dining booth too. And it's very nice inside, like new. They take very good care of it. And then they got that clam, 11 and a half foot, 6-sided. And she's hung lights in there. You know how people do with these campers that camp? They string out lights on their awning and around their... I got to get it. I mean, it's the whole camping experience, especially at night, you know? And then having that fire in there from Buc-ee's, everything's going to start coming into play. I'm going to get it. So it's 60 degrees this morning. No chance of rain today. Or it's 50 something right now. Forgot. And it's only going to be 66 high today. Ice cold. Must have been coffee in the pot already. Let's warm that up. They want to get together with me. I got to get together with them. They make Brunswick stew. Boy, I could go for some of that today, right? I'm going to have to reach out to them. Stan and Michelle. I didn't show them on camera yet. I don't know if they want to be on camera. They probably do. I'll introduce them to you. I've also got another subscriber that contacts me privately all the time on email. He's flying into Atlanta today, and he's going to be in Cumming, which is where I'm at, on business today. And so, that's right, I gotta do that with him. So, we're going to arrange breakfast, lunch, dinner, coffee, one of those. He's a busy person. He's got a prison job, but he'd like to get together and meet me. And so I'm going to meet him, Mr. Craig. Oh, folks. Seriously, man. Wow. That's the key right there in the McDonald's coffee. Folks, that's the best cup of coffee I ever drank in my life. Man, that's good coffee. I'm going to start getting hopped up. Ready to go with another cup after this one. Let's sit and talk. Hang on a minute. Somebody said, I was watching a YouTuber, that I could pause my video with my mic. Let me see. Let me see. No, that didn't do it. Try this one over here. Ha! It works! Oh my gosh. Yeah, you just press this little, there's two buttons. Where you at? Here you are. There's two buttons. You press this one that's got a little infinity symbol. There's two buttons. This is record. I can record. I'm recording, but I'm recording the audio in this little device in case the audio failed. And then on this side, that's the power button. You just hold that. That actually shuts it off. But if I want to stop the video, I can just do that. You learn something every day, folks. Hey, we don't edit around here. Oh, I gotta put this back on my shirt, don't I? So you can hear me. A little space heater works fine. Not using the fire pit, which I could. Not using my propane in my furnace. The room in here, that thing is the bomb. I just wish it had a little dial on it where it would cycle off. They got them on Amazon. I'm going to probably get one. But all right, let's weigh in. Let's get on the scale. Got to remember, I'm wearing this heavy mic and these heavy clothes. 193.8. I'm on the climb. Better back it down. Better slide my butt away from the table. Well, let me get some more of that coffee in me. That is good. Oh, yeah. I was noticing in a video that I was editing a little bit yesterday that my hair is turning gray. I mean, more of it. What's up with that? Showing my age. I know I was promising yesterday to make the Medicare video. I could get into it right now, but this is not the way I want to do it. So I'm going to make that today. I'm going to go outside, have the trees around me or something. Maybe I'll sit at the picnic table. Oh, that's good coffee. Let's turn the fireplace on and let the heater do the job. Let's just have the ambiance. All right, it's on too. Let me turn it down. It says it's 65 in here. There we go. I just turned the temperature to 65. You have to be like 2 degrees above what it says it is in here for the heat part to come on. And then it will, man, I got to go to the dermatologist. I got these little things I feel in my fingers on my legs. They got to do some freezing. Oh. I had 2 things delivered to my daughter's house. She was making videos for me last night, showing them to me. I got 2 new selfie sticks. I'm just deal with it. I'm just trying to get you in here. 2 new selfie sticks. One is like you wear around your neck. Has a little square thing here to lay against your chest. It's kind of heavy duty. She told me it's well made. And then it has a gooseneck that you can bend out. It's designed to like have your phone right in front of your face so you can sit there hands-free or lay in bed and watch a movie or whatever, YouTube. People do it. They got a TV right there, but they want to do that. But my purpose of it is to video. It comes with an attachment where you can put the phone, you can take that long piece off that's bendable. And it doesn't flop. It's pretty strong, she said. Nice and thick thing. And you can just do a hands-free point of view video. And it has another piece. You take that long piece off and you connect that other piece like close to you, like the one that I have. And the camera's like right here. And that was working good with on wide view. When I took a ride on the Gull Wing, you guys all said that you like the wide shot, but it still showed a little bit low, the speedometer and the Gull Wing. This thing is going to allow me to bend it a little bit over and over here, where it's not right in front of my face, but come up much higher than here. It'll come up to here. And the windshield will block the wind from blowing it off, I hope. And I'll be able to get some good video. I got to figure out where I'm going to put this microphone, though. And so then the other one I got, it is a clamp device on the bottom that opens up like this wide, really wide. And it has a long thing you put your hand on to screw it down. Not a little ring. It's a big, long, as wide as your hand. You screw down on it. So when it clamps on something, it's on there. And then it has a telescoping pole. I think 3 different ones that you pull out, and then you can bend those with clicks. Click, 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 click. And then one part will bend up like this. Well, my elbow doesn't bend that way. I don't have those joints. But you can, stagger it. And I'm thinking I can even bolt that down, clamp that down somewhere on the bike or the windshield. I don't know. And then bend it back around and looking that way. I'm going to figure out a way to get a good view. These guys wearing these things on their chin, on their helmets, I can't take those videos. I won't even watch them anymore. They go like this. They're looking around. They're talking, and makes you sick. I like it stable. But that one there with the clamp, I can literally put it on this lagoon table here, right here, and have it come up and shoot straight down to the table and be showing you things like my guns or any other small item that I'm reviewing, the phone. You know, that's how these influencers do it. So I'm accumulating some equipment that's different than most people use. They all got those GoPros and the thing on the handlebar of their bike. To incorporate in my vlogging. And of course I want the good audio. We'll get it figured out. I was thinking about taking a ride on that bike down to the Keys, going across Alligator Alley and down 75, and then finally when you get in the Keys on Overseas Highway, where you can see the Atlantic right there and the Gulf right there, literally can see both oceans as you're driving on an open-aired motorcycle with music in your ears, in your helmet, like an astronaut helmet, that showy Neotech 3. I'm putting myself there. That's what you got to do. You got to visualize what you want and make that materialize. I got it. Coffee's working already. 4:55 seat. If I don't get up at 4:30 in the morning, I don't have enough time to make a video, to watch the videos on YouTube that I'm addicted to, either the iPhone 17 or the Vivor gazebo shelter, or the Goldwing. There's an African American guy. He lives in Tennessee. He's got Tennessee tags. He's got a red Goldwing and a red Espincade, I think it's called, trailer that matches his Goldwing that he pulls with. He's changed all the rims out of the Goldwing. They come with like these anodized mag silver wheels. He's put chrome on. He had everything, and he's put all these chrome features on. And then he's one of those guys, so many of these Goldwingers do it. I don't know if you've ever seen a motorcycle at night that's lit up like a Christmas tree. Around the rim of the brake rotors, on the trunk, on the top, on his helmet, on him. I mean, he's like, what's his name on Christmas Vacation? Clark Griswold, man. He has got, but it's tastefully. It's tastefully done. It's probably a little over the top, more than I'd ever want. But he's put a strip LED light from the front of that motorcycle to the back. All along the side, in the very front, in the very back of the tour pack. And then he's put every option on. He's even got a motorcycle lift that he rides his bike. It goes underneath the bike. And it's like at the service department. And it lifts it up to chest high. And he took a garden hose, a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket of soapy water with a microfiber towel. And he made a complete video, beginning to end, hand washing, soaping that baby up. And he did it. It was just so, you just couldn't stop watching. And he did it with the sun was not drying it. It just stayed soapy and nothing dried. It just looked perfect. And he went in everywhere as he's talking. He's all mic'd up. And he's getting in everything. That bike was absolutely spotless. And I thought, and then he takes the hose and rinses it. Doesn't spray hard. He just kind of rinses it. All the soap comes off. He washed the trailer too, all the wheels, spun the tires, and he had his hand on there where he could get the wheels clean. I mean, he didn't miss a speck. And then he dried it ingeniously. I got it. He had a weed blower, a leaf blower, I should say, not a weed blower, and he blew it. And he was able to tone the volume down on his mic so it wasn't annoying. And it knocked off 99% of all that water. And then he took another dry microfiber towel and he went around and dried it. And as he's drying it, he's polishing it the way it's coming clean at the same time. The wax he's put on there. And I mean, the chrome pieces he's put on, that red that Honda uses, and it had some two-tone in it too. Like, it wasn't just one of the solid red bite. It had like some black on it. And I'm just sitting here like eye candy looking at that thing. And he was talking at the same time about how much pride that he takes. Him and I are just alike. How much pride he takes and how some guys don't clean their bikes. You know, they just, you know, give them an eye like, oh, yeah, you got your stuff over there too shiny. I'm like, well, he was saying, yeah, I get looks because mine's shiny. You don't get any looks. Don't be a hater. Clean your bike. You pay $30,000 for a motorcycle. You know, it helps on the resale value too when you go to sell something that's shiny. Anyway, this guy and I are a lot alike. You'll never see my gold wing dirty. She's dirty right now from the rain I had to ride through and get down there and just leave it and cover it up. But as soon as I get there, my microfiber towels, my 5-gallon bucket that's on the front of my tongue jack out here, my soap, my hose, and I have I want to say it right, a leaf blower. I bought one when I bought the camper to blow off the area at Ted and Jolene's. It was always stuff falling off the trees and on the roof of the camper. I wanted to make sure my awning covers that go over my slides were cleaned out. I got up on the roof several times and did it. That was a lot of work because as fast as you could blow all that stuff off, more would would fall. And, you know, looking back at life, I don't have any regrets. Let's say relationships I was in. Let's say places I was living. I was thinking about that place because I know a lot of you loved living on the water there on the Intracoastal at Ted and Jolene's. I loved it too. And I loved, you know, my previous relationships. I had my children with them. But we're all passing through in this world. And it's not like I move on to the next relationship or I move on to the next place I live or I don't have the Honda Accord anymore or the Tundra or the 4Runner and I'm sitting here crying that I don't have that anymore. Now, I have cried that I didn't have her anymore because that's a different type of thing. That's a person. But then I move on. You know, time heals all wounds. And I look back and I see where I'm at now. And I get as excited about now as I did about then. Either who I was with or what I'm driving or what I'm living in or where I live. All throughout my life. Living in California back in the day, in San Diego, and the trip I took to Laughlin 3 times, and then now I didn't think I'd want to really kind of visit this area again because when I lived in Atlanta, I was up here all the time with my motorcycle, and I just figured, because it would be boring if you just did it all the time. You got to keep everything fresh. But now, after all this years, and 2 years since I was up here, when I last saw my daughter and I was up here and I bought the Flagstaff, I don't have any regrets. Like I said earlier this morning when I was making the coffee, I come out, I'm walking on this solid floor, I got set up right, I'm disconnected, my truck is right out there, the North Georgia mountains and all the area away from the metro Atlanta, I'm up here, is away from me. And yet I'm a day ride, if I wanted to do it, to my house. A long day ride, 550 miles. But I'm going to take a 2-day slow roll, thank you, Bubba, home. I slow roll everywhere now. Yesterday, even though I was out a lot of the day, going here and there, getting the truck washed and going to coffee at um, um, the Human Being, meeting some new ladies that subscribed to the channel. It was a pleasure to meet them. She was so enthusiastic. They're so nice. It was pretty much not a day of going in the mountains or videoing the leaves or, uh, you know, taking a drive to Helen or going up to Camp Oaks or anything. I just sort of felt after I did that, I just wanted to come back here and sit. And I did the same thing when I was in Pigeon Forge. I had several days where I just came back and sat in the camper and put on Grit TV or YouTube and just got off on the fact that I'm sitting in my camper somewhere else, that my home is under my butt. And wherever I open that door is home. And when you do stay, when I traveled before, one night, just hours at a Love's truck stop, and it wasn't until I got to Laughlin and parked it, and was there for some time, and like in Cedar City, Utah, that I really did appreciate the slow. It's great to park it and stay somewhere. And 2 days is not even close to being enough. 3 days is kind of like really the minimum. 3 days is okay if you know you're leapfrogging to somewhere else. But if you're going somewhere and you're wanting to check out the area and there's other things to do there, a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, that's stretching it now. That's a while. I mean, you really feel like you live there then. Because after 3 or 4 days is when you finally, get past how you had to drive to get here, how you had to unhook it. It was not a big deal anymore, but, and then you settle in. We used to say this about the Keys. You go to the Keys, and the Keys are magical. They used to be. After your third day, even the second day, it's such a slow pace down there that it started to take hold of you. And you started to slow down. You started to realize the pace that you go in your world when you're home. With your routine that you got to do every day, your schedule, your prison job, your shopping, you got to go to the gym, all these different things that you're trying to do, that when you finally get somewhere and you're camping or you're in a hotel even down in the Keys, I remember how it used to take hold of me. And I would really start to relax. And after about the second day, it takes 2 days to wind down from a high-speed lifestyle. And then you see why everybody loves it down there and why there's no rush. Walk around flip-flops, pair of short pants and a t-shirt with a fish on the back, some Guy Harvey t-shirt on, your flip-flops. You might roll in, get yourself a fish sandwich, a cold beer, or a water or tea, whatever it is you drink, at a tiki hut bamboo roof restaurant that sells the best seafood, some kind of sandwich, or you make something at home. You see in that water around you, it's magical color, and you realize where you're at, and then it starts to take hold. Your mental changes. You don't have time to focus on the crap you watch on TV, Fox News, CNN, the road rage people out there, the hassles at work, and the drama at your workplace, and your neighbors, and your stuff you got to do, and cut the grass, and you finally get to where you're doing nothing. You're retired almost. And that's a great life. That's a great life. And you realize, what took me so long to get here? Why did I feel like I had to be rush? Why don't I make a life, even with a prison job? But it's just hard to do it. But when you take on that, that 7-letter occupation, that 7-letter word, retired, that is when you start living your life. And The sad thing about it, and what makes you really appreciate it, I think, is you have to go through all those years of accumulating your wealth, buying your home, building some kind of investment, finding a gal, finding a guy, raising a family, having some children, saving your money, getting you a car, getting it paid off, getting whatever it is, and then let the children fly the nest. You've done a good job with them. They'll bring you the grandchildren. You still have your children. You can sell your home and the things that appreciated in value. You can have things that you can drive that'll last you for years, that you're driving half as much because you're retired, and just keep the maintenance up. You can become a minimalist and just have what's important to you. Just to give you transportation, a roof over your head. It may be a sticks and bricks. Not everybody's going to be an RVer, but I'm an adventurous person. I get off on what I'm in right now, how it feels. I'd probably get off on, if I had a real off-grid or even in-grid, if that's a word, tiny home. I'm talking a tiny home, but it had a bed, a kitchen, a bathroom, everything I need to recharge my battery that's in a safe environment and provides me the same thing as a McMansion does, like this camper. Because what more do you need except to sit there and maintain it and cut the grass and all? And again, now you're building up this busy, fast lifestyle. As soon as you get it cut, you got to cut it again because you got such a big yard, it grew back over here. Less is more. And then go and do what you want to do, even if it's just taking a drive. Man, yesterday, talking about taking a drive, I was really sad in a good way. Sorry. My morning ablutions. I need more coffee. But let me say this first before I get coffee. When I left the Human Being in Dawsonville, the one I hadn't been to yet, first time there, and had some very good experience with the ladies there. I came out of there to do a color check and a taste test. And I thought I was on the road that takes me to the road that you go to get to my daughter's house, but it wasn't. It looked just like it. And I knew it wasn't when I drove for like a minute and I didn't come to the stop sign that I'm expecting to find. But the road was, I know where it is too. If I ever get that gull wing back up here. It was even a pleasure in the crusher. It was just, not switchbacks, but it was a sweeping, it was nothing very straight for very long before it was just a nice turn. Some were a little tighter. Other ones were just sweepers, you know, and it just kept going. No stop signs, no red lights, just doing this. And the trees and the homes have that country southern charm, that farm look with big yards that you don't get anywhere, even in Atlanta, most places now. But these people have been up here a while. There's people that's got some spreads. Even if it's a small spread, they're not a zero lot line. They're not touching their neighbor's house, if you know what I mean. And this road, I said, uh-oh. So I finally had to tell Google to navigate me to Bamboo Car Wash to get me back over to the 400. But I wasn't in any hurry. I didn't tell her to do it. I got into it. I was just like, well, just keep driving this road. You got gas. You got time. Drink your coffee. And I'm just cruising in the crusher. And I said, this was the sad part. Man, I took the wing back to Florida. Oh, if I knew this week's forecast was going to be like this, and I could have just took the camper home like somebody suggested and then come back for the wing, or I could have took the wing at the end of the vacation and flew back up and had it to ride it some more. But anyway, I'll come back. And I know that road one of endless roads up here. 2-lane. I didn't see, I don't know, 2 or 3 cars that went by me. You know, you would own it. And you talking about getting into that slow pace and that groove of feeling, get into motorcycling, get into a Cadillac. Now, some guys get off on those sport bikes, you know. They truly do. That's their thrill. That gets you going, though. This is Cadillacing, baby. I was even Cadillacing in that cement truck. I was loving it, with the best cup of coffee I ever drank in my life. And I just came off of having a great conversation with those ladies, and I just thought, man, what a great experience it is being up here in Georgia, and how Tennessee was. And the people are absolutely amazing. Now you have, you know, people that have a bad day, or rude people everywhere, even up here. You're going to find that, of course. I'm not living in a dream, but I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that in general, the people that live up here, because of the slower pace, unless they're going to their prison job, the traffic's pretty brutal everywhere. Their mannerism, their way that they're constantly handing down after generation after generation after generation of the Southern way doesn't change. It doesn't get influenced. Yes, it has. There is others that have come into the mix that have infiltrated, that bring in different things. But you're not going to change these Southern people. They rule here. And this is where it started. This is where it is. This is where they want to be. They don't want to be in Florida. They don't want to be in New York. They don't want to be in California. They want to be right here. As my good friend used to say when he would come down to Florida, he loved it on a vacation or spring break. He said, Florida's a great place to be, Tim. Then turn around and come back home. He always looked forward to getting back to Marietta, Georgia, Smyrna, Georgia. My good friend Jerry, he was a good one. Yeah, never will forget him. Not a relative, just a good friend. And he owned an auto center that I met him when I went in and asked him if he wanted to do this promotion that I used to do for 33 years for a living. And I ended up, when I got through working most days for several years, hanging out like at Gomer Pyle's gas station, just hanging out. And others did the same thing. They just come by and sit a while, then get up and leave, just come by and visit. That's the kind of place it was. And then his son, David, was what kept it all together. Well, they kept it together as a team, and the mother. David was the head mechanic there. They had a helper that helped David when he got overwhelmed, but he was a genius. He could fix anything. And Jerry went on to be with the Lord. David ended up, he was in a prison job for sure. He always wished he could get out of working on cars, even though he was good at it. And so he ended up doing another business that he does. And guess what it is? He removes tree stumps. He got some kind of a grinder machine, and people cut these trees down in their yard. You're always clearing, right? Plenty of trees up here. But you have these stumps all over your property. You know, you trip over. You know, some you could see from a mile away. They're big old, where they cut the tree down. And he'd grind that out so he could have nice smooth grass and make a nice yard. And just the fact that he knew everybody, like his father and his mother, you know, being from here, growing up in Marietta and Smyrna, he had plenty of people that hired him, and he does very, very well. And of course, he ended up being having 2 wonderful daughters and got him a nice wife. Apples don't fall far from their trees. David, as his dad used to say, he's a good boy. He really is. I haven't spoke to David in a while. I think he checks in the channel every now and then. I hope so. He's busy. But that's what it is in Georgia, folks. And I've read a few of your comments saying, I lived up here a dozen years. And when I was a little boy, when my mom was married to my stepfather, who basically raised me, I lived in Atlanta as like a 5-year-old. My stepfather was a tile setter. I lived here 100 years ago too. So Atlanta and I, and the fact that my daughter and grandson are here. Well, my grandson, he's in another state for college, but he's home a lot. But having Christina and Eddie here is nice. And they love motorcycling, camping, hiking. I mean, she loves all the same things. Just think. It's like, what will be the next thing God will have me do? That I don't have any regrets of living in Sarasota, Bradenton, and I find myself back here. Or I find myself in Denver, Colorado. Who knows? But if you trust in the Lord and He knows the best for you, He's already got a plan until your last day. He's already got the plan. That's the thing you should realize. And if you have a dream, He'll do His best, I think, to make your dreams come true. I think He gives you those dreams because that is where He's moving you to in your next step of your next chapter of your life. I don't think it's anything that you create. A lot of times we do create and it never comes to fruition because that's not what His plan is. He's got something better for you. And whether it be a man, a woman, an RV, a motorcycle, getting into a new hobby of working out, hiking, a new diet you're going to try that you end up losing 20, 30 pounds and looking different and feeling different. If it's all these different things that can happen in your life, you just got to go with it. You just got to crush it.